Hey everyone, have you ever thought about how a simple idea like I want to be able to log in turns into something you can actually test, something that makes sure the software is rock solid? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today. We're going to follow that journey from a basic user need all the way to a structured, repeatable test. All right, let's get into it.
So let's just start right at the beginning. How do you test an idea? I mean, you have a concept, a requirement, but how do you actually make sure it works the way it's supposed to? And not just that it works, but that it's tough, reliable, and won't break.
Well, you might be surprised to hear this, but the answer is, it all starts with a story. Seriously, a simple, human-focused narrative that just captures what a user is trying to do. This right here, this is the seed that everything else in quality assurance grows from.
Okay, so to take that story and turn it into a real, rigorous test, we need a plan, a blueprint, right? A framework that makes sure we don't miss anything. And that's what we call the testing hierarchy. It's basically our guide to get from that initial concept all the way to the finished, tested feature.
And here it is. This is the core formula, the roadmap for this whole thing. It's a simple three-step process. We start with a user story. Then we turn that into a test scenario, and finally, we break that down into one or more really specific test cases. Let's walk through each one of these steps.
First up, the user story. Everything starts here. This is our foundation, and its whole job is to frame the feature from the user's point of view. It clearly lays out the who, what, and why behind what they need.
So take a look at this. What's so cool here is how much information is packed into this one little sentence. As an admin user, boom, that tells us who. I should be able to log in. Okay, that's the what. And the why, it's implied, but it's totally clear. They need to log in so they can get to all the secure admin stuff. This one sentence is our launchpad.
All right, so we know what the user needs. Now we move up to the next level, the test scenario. The way to think about this is we're kind of switching hats. We're going from what the user wants to what a tester needs to verify. We're basically translating that story into a clear, checkable goal.
And you can see that change happen right here, side by side. On the left, you've got the user's need. It's a desire, right? I should be able to. But on the right, you have the tester's goal. It's a command. See that little switch in the wording? From I should be able to verify. That one word, verify, makes the goal totally concrete and something we can actually act on. Okay, we have our goal. Now we need the recipe. The exact step-by-step instructions to get it done. And that brings us down to the most detailed level, the test case. This is the nitty-gritty, the explicit instructions that anyone on the team can pick up and follow.
And you'll notice, the goal of our test case is a perfect match for our test scenario. It's one-to-one, there's no guesswork, no confusion. Every single step that comes next is designed to do one thing, accomplish this very specific goal.
And here they are, the actual steps. Look how clear this is. Open browser, launch the app, enter username, enter password. There's no way to misinterpret this. It's completely repeatable. Anyone could run this test and get the same result. But the most important part, it's right there at the bottom, the expected result. This is how we know if we succeeded. If the homepage shows up, the test passes. If literally anything else happens, it fails. It's that black and white.
But a really great test case is more than just the steps. This other info here, this metadata, is absolutely crucial for keeping things organized. Like, what specific test data are we using? Which part of the app or module does this belong to? And a really big one, what's its priority? A login function? Yeah, that's definitely a P1, high priority. All this context is what lets a team track thousands of these tests and manage the whole process without going crazy.
So, okay, we've gone super deep on one simple login process. But the real magic of this whole system is how it scales up. How does this one little story become the foundation for making sure the entire feature is high quality?
This chart kind of gives you a visual for how it all expands. So we have our one user story, right? Well, that one story could easily spark at least two test scenarios, one for a successful login and another for a failed login. Makes sense. And from just those two scenarios, you could create a whole bunch of test cases, maybe 6, maybe more, each one testing something unique, like a wrong password or a locked out account, or maybe a forgotten username. You see, it's like a pyramid of checks and balances, and it's all built on that one single user story at the top.
So here's the big takeaway. This whole journey from a simple one-sentence story to a whole suite of detailed, repeatable tests,
This is the absolute backbone of software quality. By following a structure like this, one small, well-defined requirement can guarantee that you build a feature that's robust, reliable, and just high quality.
And that kind of leaves us with one final thought. Now that you've seen this clear path, from a simple user need all the way to a detailed set of instructions, just think about it for a second. Where in your own work, on your own projects, could applying this kind of structure bring a little more clarity, a little more focus, and ultimately a lot more quality?